A mother burns money to heat her home, not because she's insane, because burning cash is cheaper than buying coal. Her children are starving. She has a wheelbarrow full of money outside. It can't buy a single loaf of bread. This actually happened to millions of people in one of the world's most advanced nations, and it was designed to happen. The Trap, June 28, 1919. Palace of Versailles. A French general stands up. He's shaking with rage. This is not peace. This is a 20-year ceasefire. His name is Ferdinand Foch. He just predicted World War II. To the exact day, he was off by 65 days. But someone else sees it even clearer. A young British economist, John Maynard Keynes. He's watching the victors do something catastrophic. They're not just punishing Germany, they're creating a time bomb. Article 231, the War Guilt Clause. Germany accepts 100% responsibility for the war. They will pay 132 billion gold marks. In today's money, $442 billion. Here's the insane part. Economists knew it was impossible to pay. They knew it would destroy Germany's economy. They did it anyway. French Prime Minister Clemenceau said it out loud. Germany must be made so weak she can never threaten France again. Mission accomplished, Georges. You didn't just weaken Germany. You created something infinitely worse. Keynes quit in protest, wrote a best-selling book, warning this would cause another war. Everyone read it. Nobody with power did anything. Germany makes its first payment in 1921. The economy starts dying immediately. When money becomes wallpaper, January 1923. You have 5,000 marks in savings. Enough for a month of groceries, you go to work. Come home that evening. Your 5,000 marks can now buy 3 eggs. 3 eggs. This is hyperinflation. 3.25 million% per month. A loaf of bread costs 250 marks in January. By November, 200 billion marks. Workers demanded payment twice daily, morning and lunch, because by evening their wages were worthless. Restaurants stopped printing menu prices. By the time you finished eating, prices had changed. The middle class was deleted from existence. You worked your entire life, saved carefully, did everything right, and then, through no fault of your own, you have nothing. People used money as wallpaper, as kindling for fires. Children made kites from million-mark notes. 6 million unemployed. Students prostituting themselves for food. Elderly people starving in apartments filled with worthless cash. This is the soil where monsters grow. The monster Munich, 1923. A failed artist stands on a beer hall table, short. Odd mustache. But when he speaks, something happens. Adolf Hitler isn't talking about economics. He's talking about humiliation. Who did this to us? He screams. The Treaty of Versailles. The November criminals. The international bankers. The Jews. It's lies wrapped around real pain. Here's what people miss about Hitler. He didn't brainwash Germany. He gave traumatized people someone to blame. That's the formula. Always has been. Find people in pain. Tell them it's not their fault. Give them an enemy. Promise simple solutions. His coup fails. He goes to prison. Prison makes him a martyr. He writes Mein Kampf. Everyone reads it. Everyone sees his plans. The racism, the expansion, the hatred. They vote for him anyway. Why? The second collapse, October 1929. Just when Germany was recovering, the Great Depression hits. Unemployment, 6 million. 1 in 3 workers jobless. Children begging in streets. Families evicted from homes. The democratic government looks paralyzed, helpless, weak. And Hitler offers strength, purpose, someone to blame. Hitler becomes chancellor through an election. People voted for him, knowing what he believed. Because when you're desperate enough, when your children are starving, you'll follow anyone who promises to make it stop. Hitler becomes dictator. He reveals Germany rebuilt its air force, direct violation of Versailles. The world's response? Sympathy. Britain feels guilty. Maybe the treaty was too harsh. Maybe Hitler has a point. Britain signs a naval agreement with Hitler, essentially giving him permission to rebuild. This is where appeasement begins, and Hitler learns the most dangerous lesson possible. Aggression works. Democracies are weak. Nobody will stop me. The Bloodless Conquests, March 1938. Hitler marches into Austria, tanks rolling through Vienna. But here's the disturbing part. Austrians are cheering, throwing flowers, waving Nazi flags. The propaganda worked, 0 shots fired. The world does nothing. September 1938. Hitler demands Czechoslovakia's Sudetenland. British PM Chamberlain flies to Munich to negotiate, giving away someone else's country. Czechoslovakia isn't even invited to the meeting. Chamberlain returns to London, waving a piece of paper. "Peace for our time," he declares. The crowd goes wild, people crying with relief. War has been avoided. In Parliament, one man stands up, Winston Churchill. Britain had a choice between war and dishonor. You chose dishonor. You will get war anyway. Churchill was right. The point of no return. March 1939, less than 6 months after promising peace. Hitler invades the rest of Czechoslovakia. Chamberlain's credibility is destroyed. The appeasement strategy is dead. August 23rd, 1939. Shocking news breaks. Nazi Germany and Soviet Russia sign a pact. A non-aggression pact. Everyone's confused. Aren't Nazis and communists mortal enemies? There's a secret protocol. They agree to split Poland between them. September 1st, 1939. 4:45 a.m. 1.5 million German troops invade Poland from the west. September 17th. Soviet troops invade from the east. Poland is crushed in 35 days, divided in half, erased from the map. Britain and France issue an ultimatum: withdraw or face war. Hitler ignores it. September 3rd, 1939. Britain and France declare war on Germany. World War II has officially begun. But for months, nothing happens. They call it the phony war. Hitler isn't waiting. He's planning something. Something that will change warfare forever. Warfare on meth. Here's what they don't teach in schools. Hitler's army ran on crystal meth. Literally Pervitin. That's the brand name. It's basically crystal meth in pill form. German troops were given millions of these pills. The drug eliminates fatigue, suppresses hunger, removes fear, boosts confidence. Your enemy sleeps at night. German soldiers don't sleep. They fight for 72 hours straight. They cover in 48 hours what should take a week. By the time you wake up, they're behind your lines. Combine that with a new strategy. Blitzkrieg lightning war. Tanks and aircraft working together. Speed. Surprise. Overwhelming force. Don't give the enemy time to react. Win in days, not years. April 9th, 1940. Denmark falls in 6 hours. 6 hours. May 10th, 1940. Hitler launches his western offensive. He attacks France, Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg all at the same time. The same day, Chamberlain resigns in disgrace. Winston Churchill becomes Prime Minister. His first day in office is a nightmare. The French catastrophe. France thought they were prepared. They built the Maginot Line, 450 kilometers of fortifications. Impenetrable. Hitler had a better plan. He sent forces through the Ardennes forest. French military experts said it was impossible. Tanks can't get through dense forest. They were wrong. 40,000 German vehicles push through the Ardennes. By May 15th, they've captured Sedan. Now they're racing north. Toward the English Channel, the British and French troops in Belgium suddenly realize they've been trapped. Germans behind them, Germans in front of them, Germans everywhere. One escape route left. The beaches of Dunkirk. The impossible rescue. May 26th, 1940. 400,000 Allied troops trapped on the beaches. The German army is closing in. The Luftwaffe is bombing from above. The situation looks hopeless. Churchill needs a miracle. The Royal Navy sends every available ship. It's not enough. So Churchill makes a desperate call to the British people. Send everything that floats. And they do. Fishing boats, pleasure yachts, personal sailboats, ferry boats, river vessels. Civilians sail into a war zone to save soldiers they've never met. Picture it. Your father owns a small fishing boat. He gets the call. He could ignore it. Stay safe. Instead, he kisses your mother goodbye, not knowing if he'll come back, and sails across the English Channel into hell for 9 days. Under constant bombardment, German fighters strafe the beaches, bombs falling like rain, ships exploding, men drowning, bodies everywhere. They keep coming. By June 4th, 338,000 soldiers evacuated. It's a miracle, but it's also a catastrophic defeat. All heavy equipment lost, tanks, artillery, vehicles gone. Churchill gives his famous speech. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender. June 22nd, 1940. France surrenders. Hitler takes the French surrender in the exact same railway car where Germany surrendered in 1918, the ultimate revenge, the ultimate humiliation. The circle is complete. The peak by summer 1940, Hitler controls most of Western Europe. Austria, Czechoslovakia, Poland, Denmark, Norway, Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, France. Only Britain stands in his way, and most experts think Britain will fall within months. America, still neutral. Stalin, still Hitler's ally. This is Hitler's peak, his moment of maximum power, from failed artist in 1923 to master of Europe in 1940, 17 years, and it all traces back to that single document, signed in 1919, the Treaty of Versailles. The real lesson World War II wasn't caused by one evil man. It was caused by a chain reaction of catastrophic decisions made by smart people who should have known better. Economic devastation creates desperation. Desperation creates extremism. Extremism creates monsters. Monsters create hell on earth. The Treaty of Versailles was designed to prevent war. Instead, it made Germany desperate enough to follow a madman. Appeasement was designed to preserve peace. Instead, it showed dictators that aggression works. John Maynard Keynes was right in 1919. He predicted all of this. He warned that humiliating Germany and demanding impossible reparations would create a new war within a generation. He was off by 1 year. The pattern, the road to World War II, was paved with revenge, economic ignorance, and wishful thinking. And here's the terrifying part. Those ingredients still exist today. When you humiliate nations, when you create economic collapse, when you make people desperate enough, they'll follow anyone who promises to end their pain. Even if that person promises hell, especially if that person promises hell, because at least hell is something different than this. One signature on one document in 1919 led to 80 million deaths by 1945. If you think that can't happen again, you haven't been paying attention. Part 2 drops next week. How Britain stood alone, how America finally entered the war, how the entire tide turned. The story of World War II isn't over, not by a long shot.